Hi, this is Pearl and welcome to my channel. Today I have a process video for you using the Hope kit from Felicity Jane. That's the kit for May of 2020. Here I found a picture of my family when I was around 6 or 7 years old, and it's taken on New Year's Day, and the tradition for Koreans is to dress up in our traditional gowns, which is called a hanbok, and we go around and bow to our elders, and they give us money and their blessings for the new year. So today I'm going to be doing kind of a tea design, and I wanted to use this yellow and white or golden white kind of stripe paper. I feel like it kind of goes with the yellow in my mom's hanbok. So I'm going to go ahead and use that on the top portion of my layout using just white basil cardstock. And I'm trying to decide what to do here. I want to map my photo on something, and I think because I'm going to be doing the tea design, I'm going to be cutting the vertical portion into a like a 6.5 inch wide space to go down the middle of the layout. I'm trying to decide if I should use that little gray or green or if I should use just white. So I do end up just using white cardstock, and I'm going to portion out where I'm going to put my photo and mark that off with a pencil so I can do my journaling on using the We Are Memory Keepers typecast typewriter. And I love doing journaling using that typewriter because I can get more written down than I could with my handwriting. So I go ahead and insert my cardstock, and I always have a hard time inserting cardstock without folding the top portion of my cardstock. But this is the journaling that I wrote. Every New Year's Day, we had to dress up in our hanboks to go sebe, which means bow, to our elders. It was embarrassing walking through East Los Angeles like this, but this was where our family lived. We also made money from this tradition, and I dated it January 1, 1977. I could not find a date stamp that went back to 1970s. I think I have one somewhere from October afternoon. Didn't they make those decade ones? And I thought I had one, but I don't have one for 1970. So I went ahead and typed out the date there. So I'm guessing it's January 1, 1977 because of my age and looking at my brothers there. So I go ahead and erase the pencil marks that I have there. And I'm going to adhere or go and trim off the top portion of or the bottom portion, I should say, because I want to put that die cut that says Good Moments onto the bottom of my layout. I'm trying to decide where also I'm going to put the title. I am going to put my title right above my journaling, and I'm going to use the alpha that came with the kit, and I'm using the white one with the black dots on it, and I'm going to spell out hanbok, and I'm going to put that above my journaling. Next, I'm going through the scraps because I'm going to start backing up my photo, and I did print it with a white border around it, but I love this heart paper with the gradient colors of the hearts going down. I go ahead and back my photo onto that, and then I'm only going to use 2 other pieces of paper to back up my photo. I'm using one that has X's on there on white, and I'm going to put that towards the top left, and then I'm going to use a number one, the numbers, and that's from the strip that came with that showed the Hope kit and the different pattern papers that came with that. What is that called? Does anybody know? These little pieces of paper that I cut up. If you could let me know in the bottom, I would really appreciate it because I never know what to call that. They're not branding strips because they're not, okay, let me know down below. So anyway, I put that numbers one to the bottom right hand corner. And after that, I'm going to adhere it down to the white cardstock. And as you can see here, I ran out of adhesive. So I'm going to change out my ATG and put a new refill in there. And I don't know if the refill that I was currently using was a ATG brand or not, but the new one that I used, it works so much better, and I'm not having as many issues with it as I was with the other one. But I do order these on Amazon. I will have everything linked down below. You can see I struggle with it a little bit. I always do the first time or when I go back to change my refill, but I've been using this for so long, you'd think it would be automatic to me, but it's really easy to change out. And then I go ahead and adhere the photo down to the white mat that I have. Then I'm going to adhere that down to the gray-green cardstock that I have right there. And I decide to keep the scallop on the bottom, so I'm going to, after I adhere that down, I'm going to use that and cut my cardstock using the Caterpillar Pro. And you can see on the right hand side, I forgot to put one part of the ATG gun back. I'll fix that here in a second. But then I'm going to take this yellow and gold, and I'm going to, or yellow, gold and white, I should say, and adhere that to my basil cardstock. Trying to get it straight because the one that the ATG refill that I have now is permanent. I'm taking it to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew a border around it just using white thread. Now I'm using my Tim Holtz 9.5-inch scissors to cut around the scallop that came with the green and gray cardstock, and I'm going to cut that out before I adhere that down to my layout. This is where I remember that I forgot to add this little part back to my ATG gun. So after I put that in, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. After I do that, I'm going to go through my embellishments and see which embellishments I want to use for this kit. Now, I do want to use this Good Moments, and I do end up putting it to the bottom of my layout, and I'm using my Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to put that to the bottom of my journaling. These Stampin' Up! Foam dimensionals are my favorite because they're not too thick, and I do get them up from my Stampin' Up! What is it? Vendor? What do you call them? Representative? And then I'm going to go through the other embellishments that I have. I put a little mini paper clip to the top left-hand corner of my photo. I do notice now in editing my videos that I do like to put my paper clips onto the top left. I do put this word die cut that says remember to the top left right under the paper clip. I'm going to put the cacti die cut to the bottom right hand corner of my photo. I'm also going to put a green and white striped bow to the top right hand portion of my photo, and I'm using the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals for both of those as well. Now this kit came with a bunch of buttons, and I'm not a big button person, so I want to challenge myself to use buttons on this layout. So I do go through those, and I'm going to pick 6 buttons to put on each side of my photo, and I'm going to use it to between the golden white striped paper and the white cardstock. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use white crochet thread, and I'm going to thread the, what do you call them in the middle of the buttons? Well, I'm going to thread the buttons is what I'm saying. So I thread all 6 buttons, and after I thread them, I'm going to use glue dots to glue them, to adhere them to my layout. Now, it's not the strongest adhesive, so if you guys have any idea of how I could adhere these better, and my problem probably was that I put the knot on the bottom of the buttons, and then so it makes it lumpy, so the glue dot is not quite adhered as strongly to the bottom of the button, but it'll do for now. But if you guys have any ideas of how I can adhere these buttons down so that they'll stay on for the long term, that would be really great. So let me know down in the comments down below. After I adhere them using the glue dots, I decide to use the Nuvo Crystal Drops. And this is in the color mustard, antique mustard, I think is what it's called. I'll have it linked down below. I go ahead and make 3 dots to the 3 areas of embellishments, and then I call my layout done. So thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this process video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I am close to reaching 300 subscribers. I'm so excited. I will have a giveaway when I reach the 300 subscribers. So if you know of anyone who might enjoy these kinds of process videos, please share my YouTube channel with them, and I would appreciate that so much. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.